Donald Trump literally is saying if you put him back in power, he's going to come after those who tried to take him out. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene says they are trying, when I say they, she's saying Democrats, they are trying to assassinate Donald Trump. Here it is.
What happens if you become president again regarding them and the rest?
Well, let me tell you, I didn't want to. I thought it would be a terrible thing. And there were opportunities, obviously, and good, strong control. Everything was good, but I did not want to. And I thought it would be a terrible thing for our country. They don't care. These people are radical lunatics. They don't care. And they have to be very careful with what they're doing because it comes back to bite. And you're right about it. I had putting her, that would have been a horrible thing to do, I thought, but they don't mind doing it. And you're talking president, not, look, the wife of Bill Clinton would not have been a nice thing to do. But I felt that way. I really did. I felt that way. And she was quite nasty. And by the way, to this day, she talks about the election. Nobody goes after her. They go after conservative Republicans. They go after Christians. I mean, it's going to be a lot different out there. And I tell the Republicans, and I think I'm having an impact, a big impact. I tell them, you better start fighting because, you're not going to have anything left if you don't. And we have some great people. You know them. Yeah, they're on your show a lot. We have some great Republicans, but they're realizing they're going to have to get tougher, and they will. It's happening.
You heard it. Donald Trump said it would be horrible. He wasn't going to do it. But with millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Yeah, put a full mask. There's more. So former President Donald Trump offered a warning on Thursday night for those involved in his criminal prosecutions. Now, remember, we said this here at Indisputable, that if you give Donald Trump power again, he's coming after those who tried to hold him accountable for abusing it. Trump faces 88 criminal indictments, criminal counts for 4 jurisdictions, has pleaded not guilty to all counts. 2 of those cases revolve around his attempts to overturn the 2020 election. A third pertains to his retention of government material after leaving office. The trial in the 4th case is currently taking place in Manhattan, where he is charged with falsifying business records in order to disguise hush money payments during a campaign. Now, calling into Thursday's Greg Kelly report, Trump railed against his cases. At one point, Greg Kelly played a clip of Hillary Clinton during one of the 2016 presidential debates. Quote, "It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country," Clinton said. And then Trump responds, "Because you'd be in jail." Now, if you remember, that was kind of an iconic moment for his campaign. It was quick, it seemed witty. If you weren't on his side, you may have even chuckled and said, that's different for a presidential debate. But see, at that point, I don't think everyone was aware of his extreme ego-driven personality. We all knew he was a narcissist, but he's a clinical narcissist. He tells a lie when the truth will do. That's how narcissistic he is. There's more. I think you locked up the election with that moment, Kelly told Trump. Quote, "But you didn't follow through on that. Yet they're trying to put you in jail." Now, my question is, you asked about that. You said, look, these are good people. I don't want to hurt them. And I kind of thought that was a very honorable thing to say. What happens if you become president again regarding them and the rest? Now, I want you to understand, this is called framing the question. Trump never said these things. He never said, they're good people. I'm not going to bother them. No, he tried to. Remember, he tried to coerce a foreign head of state to investigate his political rival, both father, son, Biden Jr. Remember? He also attempted to overthrow the actual government so he could remain in power. He was okay with somebody hanging his then vice president in order for us to not have order so he could remain in power. There's more. Trump, who is headed for a rematch in November's election against President Joe Biden, responded, well, let me tell you, I didn't want to. I thought it would be a terrible thing. And there were opportunities, obviously, in good, strong control. Everything was good, but I did not want to. And I thought it would be a terrible thing for our country. They don't care. These people are radical lunatics. They don't care, and they have to be very careful what they're doing because it comes back to bite. And you're right about it. I had plenty. I had putting her, that would have been a horrible thing to do, I thought. But they don't mind doing it. Trump went on to complain about Clinton was quite nasty. She was a nasty woman to him. Elsewhere in the interview, Kelly told Trump that Democrats want you dead. Now, understand this. Trump is on this show because they are coordinating a campaign here and a messaging routine. Please know, the guy who's interviewing him, he is posing questions that have already been fed to him. Trump is doing the interview intentionally to create a narrative. The narrative is to do one thing. It is to eliminate the last barrier for Donald Trump if he becomes president again. What is that barrier? The separation of powers. That is the barrier they would like to eliminate. So how are they doing it? They are crafting a strategic campaign on social media, alternative media, and mainstream media saying this: Donald Trump was a nice guy for 4 years. They have tried to do everything they could do against him, and now they would like to assassinate him. He has to be proactive. Remember the preemptive doctrine that was spewed by conservatives of old? This is another permeation of that. You see, we're in the middle of war, ladies and gentlemen, because the first casualty is truth. Here's what Marjorie Taylor Greene said in a separate interview at a separate time, but the messaging is the same. Here it is.
And here's the real truth. I agree with you. I think people are believing a complete conspiracy theory, thinking, oh, we're just going to win this election. Yeah, you're right. He is not invincible. He is a man. He's fighting as hard as possible. He's putting all he has into trying to win the election. But you also got to remember, he's at the same time he's trying to run for president again, he's having to put everything he has into defending himself against these rigged trials and this unbelievable perversion of our justice system. And the Democrats aren't sorry about it. They aren't going to back off of what they are doing. They literally want him dead. Benny Thompson introduced a bill to take away his Secret Service protection. That's how serious they are. They want President Trump dead. They want to lock him up in jail for the rest of his life so that he dies in jail. And they want to take away his Secret Service protection so that he is murdered somewhere in jail, possibly. This is how serious they are. Alex, I just want to tell everybody this before I go. We literally are living in this little bubble of time.
It is a messaging routine in order to create automated forgiveness for the insanity that he may try to pull if you give him power again. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is obviously being, well, hyperbolic, and she's a liar. You see, the vast majority of Democrats don't want to take away Secret Service from Donald Trump. The presentation of the resolution she's referring to seeks to do so if Trump is convicted so that there's no case for Trump to be placed under house arrest, but to actually be placed in prison, all right? That is what the resolution seeks to do. Sharon, you have been in media for a long time, and you understand messaging. You see these individuals on different sides of the planet, different platforms, but they are echoing the same sentiment. You know it is in preparation for something.
Yes, it's in preparation for a coup. The first one was an attempt, a dry run, didn't work. It was just not organized enough and not enough people in power who were on board, although the Secret Service did delete all those text messages like that. I mean, I think that this is indoctrination. Yes, I understand messaging, and indoctrination is a cousin of that. And that's what they're doing here, trying to indoctrinate people who don't want to or have less ability to think for themselves. And as far as the Secret Service goes, I want Donald Trump protected. I want him to have the finest. In fact, I know an agent who may be available who used to be on the detail of VP Harris, who's could perhaps transfer over to Donald Trump's team. But it's lunacy, and I really shouldn't even use that word, Dr. Richey. Just real quick, I think I've got to stop calling this craziness, because you're right. We're at war, and we've got to prepare the arm to the, and I mean with every tool. I'm not saying pick up a gun, but I'm saying we have to prepare for this epic battle.
Yeah. And as we always note, the first battle is the battle of truth.